for the people who don't know anything about Zen. So can we do any simple Zen meditation at home?
That's the problem with Zen. It's yeah, you can. It's basically sitting. You know, it's Zen is a body practice. You take your body and you stop and you sit. And it's much easier to sit with others because you can use their each energy and be supported, you know, by, you know, that's how we live anyway. We live in our little boxes that we created, you know, some time ago. We used to live in villages where we could support each other, you know, where families didn't have to raise their kids by themselves. The whole village raised the kids. So it was okay to have kids because you could, everybody's going to feed each other, you know, here are these single parents taking care of babies. That just was not the way. And it's not the way, you know, for us to live. And so I think it's better to, for me, it was better to sit with others, to sit in a sangha so that you awaken together. And that's the way of saving all beings, is really sitting together and awakening together and being able to talk about and share, even if you don't talk about it, just share your life with others based on the awakening, rather than sharing your life with others based on what movies you like, what music you like, what car you drive, where you work, and all those kind of other things we based our life on to share. But what would it be like if we all were sharing our awakening instead of, you know, our similarities, likes, and things we favor? So I think if you want to start Zen practice, the best thing is to go to a Zen center or a Zen sangha. You can start in a small one. You don't have to go to a big center, and just be with the people in silence and offer incense. You know, be a part of that, and um, or whatever they, you know, I don't know what, you know, different ones do different things, different sanghas do different things. So, but learn the forms, you know, one of the first forms you learn is bowing, and people are really like, oh no, I'm not bowing. You know, that's too submissive for me. And I remember when I first saw that, I was like, oh God, you know, I said, I don't want to do that. I'm not Japanese, you know. And then, but I kept doing it. I kept doing it anyway, even though I didn't like, and it, you know, especially a person who's black, it's kind of like bowing to the master, you know, like you're bowing to the slave master, because, you know, we have slave descendancy in our bones. And so I realized that I'm not bowing to anyone. I'm not bowing to, even though if I bow to you, I'm bowing to toward you to a life. I'm bowing to life. I'm bowing to your ancestors. You know, so you know, you can begin Zen with a bowing practice at home too, to bow 3, 4, 9 times and see how that feels in your body. You know, just don't decide what you're doing. Just bow and then see what, you know, several times and see what is it, what, how does it stop your thinking and all your perceptions when you put your forehead right about here to the ground. And if you don't even can't do it physically, if you sit in a chair like I do, you just can do that with your mind. You know, like you can do qigong with your mind. You don't have to even move your body. You can do qigong with your mind. And so you can do that bowing, just kind of coming down to away from all the things that are fluttering in your mind, to just, you know, create a space where you're away from that for a moment, and within your own self, and in the moment, and in this life right now, rather than what you're doing tomorrow, what you're doing in the next hour, what you're going to do tomorrow, you know, which can be difficult. You could almost miss all your appointments, you know, that way. But just start by sitting, and I would say do a few bows, you know, to if you, and then go and sit in a sangha, and they're not going to be people you choose, you know, like, oh, I don't like that person, I don't like that person, that, oh, they're that sangha is this, that sangha is that. But no matter what sangha you go to, it's going to be uh, difficult, because there's people there. And so I teach this all the time. So my Sangha was mixed with various races, multicultural in the beginning. Usually Zen is pretty not multicultural, it's pretty dominantly white and male. At least when I came in, I think maybe that's changing. I don't know. But then our Sangha changed to it's all black. It changed, evolved there on its own. And I said, now we're really going to have trouble to all the students. They were like, what? Because they thought now it's going to be all hunky dory. And in one way, maybe it is. Maybe it's not having to deal with the things you might deal in a cross-cultural Sangha. But there is going to always be something to deal with because there's always people. So then we have to deal with the sufferings and the things Black people do to Black people, the harm and suffering we do to each other. So it doesn't end. So go somewhere, sit and observe yourself in it, in the space with other people. And then without words, without trying to think it out, without trying to hurry up and make a friend you can hold on to, but just go and use the environment to be. I tell my students if they're going to Zen Center, just go eat their food, sleep, do the work you have to do, write poetry, look at the trees, and not try to do the things that you do when you're in the world. I've had students and they'll come to me and they hurry up and they get in a relationship. Well, I met this guy, I met this girl, they're doing the same thing they did when they in the world, and their same habits and patterns, like it's when like they're at a club or something, so it's you're coming in just for that short period of time. I ask them, can you not? Especially if you're the type of person that has to have a relationship. Can you not do that? Can you say no to that guy, no to the, to that person, not now? And can you have that time for yourself, the 6 months? Oh, well, I'm going to be here for several years. Well, then that's on you. Then do it for several years to not do what you do out there. And that's very difficult for them, the students. So I think you can do that at home too, is to let go of some of the habitual things that you do, that you do all the time to make yourself feel comfortable about being in the dark and the unknown, and see how that feels. That's just a little bit of a testing to see if you really want to go into this this place of just being. And there's so many movies you can watch too. There's movie on Dogen that shows you what it's like to be in a monastery in the old days. And I just watched this documentary called One Mind. It's about this Chinese monastery. And it gives you that feeling of what in the body of what the practice is. Because they don't really say too much in One Mind. It's available now. You can get it. And they don't say too much, but you walk away from that film like, wow, what happened? There's not a lot of Dharma teaching. Like Dharma talks are not, that's not Buddhism. That's just an extra little cherry for us to, we just love it. Westerners love it. I call it Buddha TV, but it's just because we want to take in all this information so we can know what to do. But it doesn't, it really, in the end, it's not going to stick and it's not going to sustain you. And you can write, I have so many journals where I've been and I've taken so many notes, and they're all in the journal, all my notes, but I'd take all those journals down and read them to remember what I learned, so that's not the practice, so yeah, a little bowing, and a little letting go of some of your habits with people, especially, especially when you get scared or you feel afraid of being alone, what check in and see what that is, and just see if this practice is for you. I do recommend that people have a therapist when they start Zen. I do.